I hate that guy. I freaking hate that guy. And the more attention you get, the more there's going to be people that they see you and they don't like you for whatever reason. And that is part of the game.
And we've seen people do it, right? Where they start to get some attention, they start to get some traction, they start to get momentum. And the moment they see that negativity that's inevitably going to come, haters, critics, people saying negative things, they retreat.
Little dogs are always going to bark at big dogs. That's just the way it is. Welcome to the Takeover with Tim and Cindy, where we show you how to dominate every area of life and business. Let's get winning.
Welcome back to the Takeover with Tim and Cindy. In today's episode, we are going to talk all about haters, critics, people that will give you their opinion on the journey to your goals. Our show is all about how to dominate in every area of life and business. And best believe, when you are on the journey to domination, there is going to be haters. There are going to be critics. There are going to be a lot of challenges from what people say about you, to you, behind your back, the works. So our goal with this episode is to arm you with the right perspective to take when it does happen, because surely enough, it will happen. If you haven't already faced it, you will have haters, you will have critics. We want to arm you with the right tools, the right perspectives, the right mindset to take when it does happen, so that you can continue to dominate every area of life and business. So Tim, you know this to be true. We always say, little dogs always bark at big dogs. What does that mean?
So I've lived in condos for the last 10 years of my life. And one thing you always see in the elevator is the little dogs always bark at the big dog. Big dogs will be walking around. They're chill. They're like, they ain't gonna prove anything. They're friendly. Ooh, hey, what's going on? The little dogs are like, they always bark at the big dogs. And the big dogs can destroy them, but the big dogs are like, dude, chill out.
Yeah.
Right? So little dogs are always gonna bark at big dogs, meaning little haters will always bark at people that are doing bigger, better things than them.
Yes.
And you have to be so aware that you think sometimes these people are going to be out there, but a lot of times they're going to be close.
Wow.
Or they're going to be, say you're doing reach out, they're going to be somebody that looks like your perfect client. These little dogs barking at the big dog can come in different forms. There's a book actually that we read called The Dream Giver, and it's a really, really good book. I've read it a bunch of times. It's an allegory of somebody, nobody, on the way to what's
I think it's like the land of promise.
The land of promise.
Like
it's nobody from the land of nowhere. Trying to become a somebody from a land of somewhere, right? Or, and along the way, he finds border bullies, and these are people that are trying to stop him along the journey. This is going to happen. The bigger goal you have, the more haters you're going to have.
Yes.
You absolutely cannot go create and achieve anything great without having people trying to stop you along the way. And these are going to be good intentions sometimes. Sometimes these will be people that love you and just want you to be safe and don't want you to get hurt. But the reality is people give up on their dreams. Then they make sense of the compromise they gave with their dream and to live a normal life. And then when they see you going, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for my dream. They're going to be like, no, they're going to want to stop you. You can't do it. Stop doing that. It's not safe. And that's going to be like the small, like the close haters that are going to be the good intention ones. Then you're going to have the haters that are along the way as you're starting to get attention, as you're starting to become known. They're going to hate you and talk smack for all kinds of crazy stuff. Yes. You have no idea how many negative comments I have had on my beard.
It's wild.
On my beard. I'm like, dude, I don't even know who you are, but you have an opinion about my beard. It's great because it's making my ad costs go down. It's getting more attention. Haters don't realize the more they negatively engage with your content, the more the social platforms are going to promote you more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
It's engagement. It's attention, right? We live in a time and a generation where attention is everything. If you are in obscurity, if you're not getting attention, you're not getting haters, it means that you're not making any waves, you're not getting out there. Right now, you have to get attention, and to get attention from the people that you want attention from means you are also by default going to attract haters. There's absolutely zero way around it. And so what you have to do is reframe your mind with the haters and use them for energy.
Yes.
Use them as a sign that you are moving in the right direction.
Wow, this is so good. This is so powerful. What I get from that is, one, just realize that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then the perspective that you take in face of it, you have to be willing to take it and move forward. So there's 3 things that we want to share with you all on mindsets to take around haters and critics. And the 3 of them are: the bigger the goal, the louder the noise. That's number 1. Number 2, when you face haters, remember your why. And the 3rd is use them as fuel.
Yes.
Let's start at the first one, Tim. The bigger the goal, the louder the noise.
The bigger the goal, the louder the noise. What is the most powerful position that a human being can propel themselves to in the United States?
President
of the United States of America. Who has the most haters?
The president of the U.S.
President of the U.S. got the most haters. More powerful, the bigger the goal, the bigger the dream, the more the haters.
Yes.
Do you think anybody that ran for president was like, oh, I don't want to rock any boats? This side is saying they don't like me. No, they actually know presidential candidates and marketing campaign experts know that the more haters you have, the louder your haters are, the better, because guess what? They're putting attention on you. They're putting their attention on you. Now, I'm not going to go into any specific candidates, but we know if we look at the ones that have gotten the most amount of attention, they've done that intentionally.
Yeah.
Because where attention goes, energy flows, money flows, ideas flow. When people are focused on something, things, ideas, money flow to that. Power flows to that. Because we live in a time where it's all about getting and keeping attention.
Yeah.
And so if you look at that, even negative attention is good attention. Because you're getting attention your way. Now, you don't want to have negative attention like because you're doing illegal stuff or things of low integrity. But know that if you are on a big goal dream, you want to change lives, you are going to have negative haters, negative attention. And even like if you want to impact 1 million people, you're going to have tens of thousands of people, if not more, that absolutely hate you. They do not want to see you win. They see you and they're like disgusted by you. Like they literally like, I hate that guy. I freaking hate that guy. And the more attention you get, the more there's going to be people that they see you and they don't like you for whatever reason. And that is part of the game.
Yeah.
That is part of the game. And too many people have a really big goal. They have a really big dream, but they are more concerned with the way that percentage of the world is going to negatively view them. They would rather not have that rejection. They would rather not have that negative energy than have the goal that they want. Because you can't choose both. You can't say, I want to not have haters and I want to do the big goal thing.
You can't.
If you want the big goal, you have to accept you're going to have both.
Yes.
Absolutely no way around it. And the more basic and vanilla you are to kind of alleviate any kind of haters, the less attention you're going to get, the less you're actually going to be able to make and achieve that big goal, period. There's no way around this.
Yes, absolutely. And we've seen people do it, right? Where they start to get some attention, they start to get some traction, they start to get momentum. And the moment they see that negativity that's inevitably going to come, haters, critics, people saying negative things, they retreat. they stop doing it, right? Like they stop marketing campaign, or they stop posting, or whatever that looks like, the activity that they were doing, they stop doing it because of the negativity. And what Tim is saying is that's actually pulling you further away from your goal. So remember, ladies and gents, the bigger the goal, the louder the noise. And if you can resolve and understand that that's always going to happen on the journey to achieving great things, when it does happen, you're not going to shy away from it. You're not going to be afraid. You're not going to retreat. You're actually going to push forward. And that's the mindset that you have to have if you are going to win in life and business. When haters come, when critics come, when the little dogs want to bark, push forward. Keep going. That's a sign that you're actually doing something. Whereas a lot of people, if they're not getting haters, if they're not getting negativity, it's probably because they're not doing anything.
Little dogs are always going to bark at big dogs. That's just the way it is. And just remember, people that are crushing it, they're winning, they're doing things beyond where you're at. They are at the goal that you want to get to. They're not the ones hating.
No, exactly.
They're not the little dogs barking at you.
That's so true.
That's
so true.
You have if you haven't seen it before, go watch. Google this later, a video on a bucket of crabs. What happens if you put crabs in a bucket? If one crab starts to try to climb out of the bucket, what happens?
They try to pull them down.
The other crabs will pull them back down into the bucket. The moment you try to get out of the mediocre bucket into something great, the little crabs are going to pull you back in. You have to have an emotional why to your goal. There has to be a reason so powerful that it propels you emotionally way further along and plows you through what all the little dogs are going to bark and scare. Because if your emotional reaction to those negative haters is a bigger sting than the power and the driver of your why, you will give up and you will live a mediocre life, period. Most people do this. The vast majority of all humans that have ever lived in all of human history have compromised their dreams because the fear of man, because the fear of rocking the boat, because the fear of what will they say? What will they say?
Yes. Oof, that's so powerful. And that takes us into actually the second one that you mentioned, which is remember your why. When you do face criticism, when you are facing haters and the negative things that people have to say, you have to remember your why, because it's your why that is going to keep you motivated in the face of haters and criticism and actually fuel you to keep going. In what ways, Tim, can we apply that? So is it just to like remember the why? Is it to write it down? If I've just gotten just like negative comment after negative comment, how do I use the why as a way to help me keep moving forward?
So I'll just give you a really practical one that kind of applies to probably a little closer to me. But I want you to apply this to your situation. So when I wake up, if I'm feeling tired, I don't feel like getting up and going, I know the people in my life that I'm here to impact. I know the teammates at our company that are all in, they're 100% in, they're giving everything. I know their dreams. I know their goals. I know what this means to them. I know the clients that are here to win in their companies, that are trusting us, entrusting us. Those, for me, are such powerful emotional drivers to see my wife win, my business partner win, which is you, by the way. Right? To see our employees win, to see our clients win, to see the impact to where we want to go, the impact we want to make, the money we want to be able to give to our church and to different causes, where we want to go. That is such a powerful driver that screams to me on an emotional level, because you have to be able to feel these things on an emotional level. Those things pull me so strong that when I hear a hater, it can sting for a second, and it will sometimes, but it's not like this big giant. It's like a little little cricket that jumped in front of me versus this big giant that's like standing in my path. I'm thinking of the Dream Giver. It's a great book if you haven't read it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not this big bully standing in my path. Like it can feel like that at first when you're first getting haters. It can feel like this big giant's like, stop, halt, you can't go anywhere. But the more you start attaching it to your family, what's more important? Somebody who's writing negative comments about you on LinkedIn, on email, or wherever on your YouTube, or the freaking family that you've committed to building a life for, the kid you have, the wife you have, the partner you have, whoever those people that you've promised to create this great life for. What is more important, that the promise you've made to them and to yourself?
Wow.
Or what some little dog, some little hater that has the time to critique somebody else online, aka a troll, what is a more powerful motivator for you? And that is exactly what your true, not what you're going to say right now. No, my goals, my all that. Your true answer to that will happen in the face of the haters. And if you give in to the haters, that means that you are accepting a mediocre life and you will never, ever succeed. Now, here's the thing is there's even people that are going to hear that and be like, no, they're going to be the crabs that see me encouraging people, get out of mediocrity. I'm trying to encourage you, if you have those big goals and dreams, get out of mediocrity. And there's going to be people that hear me right now and hear this and are the crabs that are trying to pull me back in. No, man, screw that guy. Oh, whatever. No, that's not true. That's it. It is a real statement. And the only reason why I say these things is because I want to see people win.
Yeah.
I don't want any of you listening to this to get to the end of your life and say, well, geez, I wish I wouldn't have cared what people thought so much. I wish I would have really gone for my goal. I really wish you don't have anybody getting to the end of their lives being, oh, you know what? I wish I would have appeased the little dogs more. Those people that were talking smack. I wish I would have just done a little bit better job at making them not talk smack about me.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
You're never going to say that. And my hope is that if you're listening to this now, it clicks with you and it sets you on a trajectory where you move and you accomplish your goals and you actually use this, as we're going to go into for this final part, as fuel to drive you, to encourage you, and to motivate you. Because if you get the right perspective on what haters are, it will actually drive you and give you energy.
Yes. What I love about what you said there is that perspective, because it's a perspective that you take in the face of the haters and the naysayers and the critics that determine the direction that you're going to go. Because if you do see any one little negative comment as a giant, you're going to be crippled and you're going to be paralyzed and you're not going to take action. Whereas if you see it as like, oh, it's just a little cricket, it's not much, it's going to happen. You acknowledge that it's part of the journey. You're still going to move forward regardless of what people say. So the perspective, how much weight are you putting on negativity and haters and critics? If you are taking their words as absolute, as yes, this is my life, this is who I am. If you're taking that to heart, then of course you're not going to be able to move forward, right?
Yes.
So it is the perspective. What perspective and what weight are you putting on the negative things that people have to say about you? And if you can remove yourself from them, meaning whatever their perspectives are, what they want to say about you, and stand firm and confident in yourself, in your why, in your mission, and in the goal that you have, that's how you move forward, right? So disconnecting and really having the proper perspective around haters and criticism. And yes, it is, I want to say it's easier for us to say on this side because we've done so much work around it. We've done so much work around training our minds to see it in that way. But you can start on that today. If you don't have the right perspective around haters and naysayers and critics, you can start on building the right perspective and having the right mindset around it today. And you can strengthen that skill and build the skill over time. Maybe the first time you see something negative, it is going to sting, as Tim mentioned, more than if you get comments, say, every day, right, for like the period of a month. You're going to get stronger, but don't let the naysayers and the critics stop you from moving forward.
So there's a speaking technique that they say to use, and that is, if you feel nervous before you give a speech, you can actually, the what's happening in your body of nerves and excitement is a very similar physiology, biology, whatever it is. I don't know. It's similar. So you can literally say, take your nervousness and go, I'm excited. And it actually, you can translate your nervousness into excitement.
Yes.
The same way, because the way that energy works is very, very cool. You can actually reinterpret the energy so that sting you feel when something negative happens, you can turn into excitement. You can turn that into fuel. You can turn that into yes, I'm in the right direction. Because if you use that energy as I'm doing things wrong, and you take a small dog's, a crab pulling you back in the bucket. If you take what they say as gospel, as you were mentioning before, what they say as truth, then you're going to get pulled down to their world. You're going to get pulled down into their little world where they've given up on their goals and dreams, and they're just trying to pull all the other crabs back down into the mediocre bucket, right?
Yeah.
But that same energy, that same sting, that ouch you can feel, you can quickly and immediately reinterpret that for excitement.
Yes.
For a yes, I'm moving on the right way, for an energy, for an energized, knowing, using that as a signal and a vindication that you are moving in the right direction.
Yes.
And that the more people you're going to help and impact, the more you're going to have people that see what you're doing, see the great things you're accomplishing, and they're going to have a disdain for it because they've given up on their own dreams and goals, and they see that, and it has a negative sting to them.
Yes.
And so the reason why they are trying to pass that sting to you is because it makes them feel better about their mediocre. It literally makes them feel better when they do that. I feel less bad about my situation. And so they're doing that because they're trying to get rid of their own bad feeling.
Yes.
So it's your job to interpret, to take that bad feeling on, like their plan was for you to take that negative feeling from them and put it on your own burden, or to take that energy and use it as fuel for your why and for your goal.
Which is the third one, right? Using criticism as a fuel to move forward versus as a reason to stop. So I love what you mentioned there, Tim, which is that is the signal. It's the indicator. When you do have haters or criticism or negative comments, negative people saying bad stuff about you, use that as the indication. Like, yes, I'm on the right path. There's opposition. There are challenges. There are people saying bad things about me. Yes, I'm on the right path. Use that as fuel to move forward versus as a reason to give up or to stop on your goals.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, gosh, how many times have we heard? I mean, we're just a small fraction of where we're going. You know, we've done some pretty cool stuff, but we're not even close to where our potential is.
Yeah.
Where when we're growing real fast, but we're not growing as fast as we're going to be growing this time next year and the year. We're moving fast, and just the small amount of from where we've been to where we are now, is just a small fraction of where we're going. But just that journey alone, I mean, the amount of hate and haters that have come our way is so much. It is so much. And if we let that weigh us down, we would be crushed.
Yes.
We absolutely could not, as human beings, bear the weight of all that hate. We would just be destroyed. Psychologically, we would be crushed. That's why perspective.
So good.
Perspective on everything. Perspective when you're about to go give a speech, nervousness, excitement. Perspective on, hey, we just ran into this problem. Problems are opportunities. Perspective on haters. Haters are an indication that I'm moving in the right direction. Perspective will change everything and can transmute and what would feel like a negative energy and a negative emotion into an excited, positive emotion that moves you in the right direction.
Yes.
And if you use this, it's something you can start using right now in this moment today. And that's not to say, I do want to qualify, it's not to say you will not feel that initial sting. And it's not to say that negative thing won't come up and try to remind you. That little crab pulling you back in the bucket, that little dog barking you, and that internal voice is going to come remind you, hey, this hateful thing that was said to you, this hater, hey, slow down, don't do it. Because you're going to have your own internal hater.
Wow, yeah.
That's going to try to limit you too. So you got to, this has got to be a habit you build where you start, when you hear that externally, internally, anywhere, where you start choosing as an action, as making the discipline and building the habit that will become automatic over time.
Yeah.
But at first will not be automatic. It will have to be
train.
intentional. It has to be trained, is whether internal or external haters. Because people hate on themselves internally. Like, it just, all of us do this. You have to build that discipline until it becomes automatic to translate the negative energy into an excitement and a positive energy, saying as an indication that I'm moving in the right direction.
So good. Ultimately, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if your focus is on the naysayers and the negative, that's where all your energy and attention is going to go as well. And we're on the journey to building some great things, right? We want you to win in all areas of life and business. Your focus needs to be on your goals, in taking action, in building momentum. So any emotion or any thought that you're giving to that negativity is taking away from the action and the momentum that you could be putting towards your goals. So again, it's robbing your goals.
Wow.
So where your focus goes, your energy goes, ladies and gents. And this has been a really, really powerful episode. I'm like mind blown.
I think, but this has been real for us.
Yes.
People, if you're listening to this episode, you have to understand the stuff we're saying up on here. This isn't
real.
This isn't like, hey, we read a book and like, hey, you want to say this on the podcast? Sounds kind of fun to talk about. I took a course and we've lived this stuff. We've gone through it. This is applied knowledge.
Still going through it. Still getting haters. Yeah, it's part of life.
And we still get to new levels where you have people that are like on a whole new level of hater. But it's okay. Like, this is part of the journey.
The mission the mission's so big, and the mission is why we keep going in the face of those haters. We're not stopping.
Can't stop, won't stop. It's like, I love getting this analogy is, if you're going to sign up to build something big and impactful in your life, you are signing up to be a boxer. Now, if you were going to be hey, I want to be a boxer. I want to be the best boxer in the world. I want to be a great boxer. And then you show up to training day 1 and you get punched in the face. You're like, whoa. Hey, I didn't know I was going to get punched in the face. You're like, of course the goal is not to get punched in the face. My goal is not to get haters. But I signed up for boxing, which means I'm going to try to avoid punches, but it's part of the job. I'm going to get punched in the face. My main goal when I'm stepping in the ring is not to avoid punches. My main goal is to knock the other dude out. My main goal, and part of that is dodging some punches. Like, I'm not going to get up here and be a jerk and say things that are intentionally offensive to people. But I'm gonna go on my mission. I'm gonna go into the ring knowing, I'm gonna get punched, and I'm probably gonna get punched a lot. And the better and better I can get at understanding how this game works, and the understanding that's normal, and the understanding that everybody that ever built something great in all of human history has haters. Anybody that ever wanted to create something great, the greater the mission, the greater the opposition.
Yes, period.
And so if you're feeling opposition and you're on a big mission, that means you're probably moving in the right direction.
You're doing something right, for sure. Fire.
Great episode.
Mic drop right there. We'll end it right there. That was powerful. That was powerful. I got motivated, ladies and gents. This was such a helpful reminder for me. I hope it was for you too, Tim. You were preaching. I was receiving.
I was preaching to myself, man.
We definitely needed this reminder, and we hope, ladies and gents, that this episode was impactful for you as well. Our goal with the Takeover is to help you dominate in all areas of life and business. And we want to equip you with the tools that are necessary for you to do that. So make sure that you are subscribed to the show. Make sure that you are following the show wherever you are listening so that you can continue to win in all areas of life and business. This was the Takeover with Tim and Cindy. Remember, domination is not a destination. It's a way of life. Stay winning.